So I thought what we would do is just run through the reactions to the attempted assassination on President Trump, because there have been a lot, and lots of people have made lots of interesting statements about this, which I think finally the mask has had to come off. So, I mean, I'm genuinely impressed at the way Trump handled this. He seems to be able to turn every attack on him into a win, which is superb. And this is a fantastic example, right? So not long after, Obama comes out and says, well, you know, we should be relieved that former President Trump wasn't seriously hurt, and use this moment to recommit ourselves to civility and respect in our politics. We're wishing him a quick recovery. Interesting. And so Obama represents sort of like the mainstream Democrat opinion. I've seen lots of mainstream Democrats echoing this sentiment, and correctly. This is the right thing to say. This is what should be said. Even AOC says, well, my heart goes out to all the victims and I wish the former president a speedy recovery. Interesting. Again, that's the sort of radical left caucus of the Democrat Party, in knowing that they should be on message on this, because again, this is the correct thing to say. There is simply no alternative. Even Joe Biden came out and gave actually quite a sensible speech, which I thought we'd watch.
Last night, I spoke with Donald Trump. I'm sincerely grateful that he's doing well and recovering, and we had a short but good conversation. Jill and I are keeping him and his family in our prayers. We also extend our deepest condolences to the family of the victim who was killed. He was a father. He was protecting his family from the bullets that were being fired, and he lost his life. God love him. We're also praying for the full recovery of those who were injured, and we're grateful to the Secret Service agents and other law enforcement agencies and individuals who risked their lives literally for our nation.
Okay, so you can see the tone and tenor. I'm glad Donald Trump's safe, praying for a swift recovery. Sorry to hear about the victims. Okay, that's interesting. That's very interesting, because it doesn't really gel up with the way that Joe Biden talks about Donald Trump, right? And this is the thing that really annoys me. So, for example, Donald Trump is a genuine threat to this nation. He is a threat to our freedom. He is a threat to our democracy. He is literally a threat to everything America stands for. Right. So 3 weeks ago, you were saying that. Some guy tries to assassinate Donald Trump. You're like, well, okay, I am wishing for a speedy recovery. Sorry, Joe. Sorry. Is he a threat to the nation or not? Are you wishing the threat to the nation a swift recovery? You literally said that he is a dictator, right? Joe, this is not a congruent message, right? There is a contradiction here. You are either telling people that he is a threat to the nation and a dictator. I mean, you remember the red speech that he gave, where he literally says that Donald Trump and MAGA.
Too much of what's happening in our country today is not normal. Donald Trump and the MAGA Republicans represent an extremism that threatens the very foundations of our republic. Now,
but I'm glad he recovered. Okay.
Well, it's for those who aren't paying attention, it's a mask-off moment about how empty that rhetoric is. It's obviously cynical to try and exaggerate the threat, if you can even say that.
Exactly. Is Donald Trump the new mega Hitler, or do we wish him a speedy recovery, right? Because these things are not compatible. He is either the greatest threat to the republic and a dictator. I mean, look at this statement, right? What is not justified by that? Right? If Donald Trump and the MAGA Republicans are a threat to the very soul of the country, well, then that puts you on the side of the guy did a right thing to try and assassinate him, right? That's what that rhetoric does.
There is a whiff of the Beckett affair, isn't it? Thomas Beckett affair, when Henry II said, who will rid me of this troublesome monk? Although he never actually said that, apparently. No. Anyway, and people took that as go out and kill him. And they did.
Why wouldn't you?
Yeah, because he didn't have to explicitly say, kill this man for me.
Exactly. You can just call him a dictator. You can call him a danger to the country. You can call him a threat to the soul of the nation and a threat to everything America stands for. The message is clear. Someone is going to pick that up, and who knows, right? So this really crystallized because the other day, apparently he was on a phone call, and it was reported by the press that he said it's time to put Trump in a bullseye. I'm sure he means rhetorically.
Yeah, he didn't add
figurative,
metaphorically speaking, or in Minecraft or anything. He just put him in a bullseye.
but he hasn't with any of the other statements either. Like, these are the most extreme statements. I mean, I don't know what he could say more to further demonize Donald Trump and MAGA. Right? I mean, what else would you say? Like, what's worse than what he's saying? Right? So I really do despise this thing, the way that Joe Biden has been treating Donald Trump, and the way that he's suddenly coming and, well, I'm praying for a swift recovery. Okay, you're a liar. You're a lie. You're a lie. Everything about this was a lie. This is now where you're on message being like, oh yeah, obviously we don't want our political opponents killed, even though they're evil mega Nazis.
Hypocrisy now.
It's not even hypocrisy. It's just total lies. You know, I'm sick of it. And obviously, he has a good gaffe here. Well, I mean, obviously he does.
In America, we resolve our differences at the battle box. You know, that's how we do it, at the battle box, not
the ballot box, Joe.
Didn't they want to do another take? It looks like they could do another take there, but no, we got it. We got it.
Yeah, that's close enough, Joe.
Yeah.
Great
Anyway,
Freudian slip there, wasn't it?
so you can see that the demonization of Trump has come from the top, the very top, and it's the most hardline demonization you could think of. And I thought, okay, well, let's go to the next one then. Let's have a look at the media. How have the media been talking about Donald Trump? Well, they've been talking about him in terms that, again, would justify an assassination attempt.
But his rhetoric is really getting dangerous, more and more dangerous. And we saw what happened on January 6th when he uses inflammatory rhetoric now, and his recent Truth Social post is incredibly, incredibly scary for anyone that might be trying to work in government. And it is just unquestionable at this point that man cannot see public office again. He is not only unfit, he is destructive to our democracy, and he has to be eliminated.
She's just nodding. Jen Psaki just nodding along there, former press secretary. Just, are you mad? This kind of rhetoric is insane.
Eliminated.
Yeah. I mean, this kind of rhetoric is mental.
Well, it's also that typical Democrat thing of projection, right? They accuse you of exactly the same thing that they do, talking about inflammatory rhetoric, and they're trying to make out
But then you get
this stuff.
Any amount of media. What, American fascism, Donald Trump as Hitler? It's like, yes, it's okay to compare Trump to Hitler. It's like, okay, well then Adolf Hitler being the demon of the 20th century, Donald Trump is Adolf Hitler. He needs to be eliminated. He's a threat to the soul of the nation. What message are you projecting? It's okay to assassinate Donald Trump. That's what's being said. And I think they genuinely want this. I'm of the opinion that they were genuinely hoping that this would happen. And I don't care that this whole like, oh, I'm so glad, I hope he recovers. No, you wanted him dead. You wanted him dead. You wanted him dead. You
still do.
They still do, yeah. They've been demonizing him since he decided to run. And it was honestly the demonization, which is why in 2017, I went to Trump Tower in New York and bought this MAGA hat. I was like, no, screw these people. I hate these people. They can get effed, 100%.
The weirdest thing about stating the office is he's already been president for 4 years and didn't act as a dictator.
Yeah, exactly.
Like De Niro going, he will never leave. Well, he did last time, though.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like...
Yeah, like Joe Biden being like, oh, Americans want a president, not a dictator. He's not in charge. You're in charge.
Propagandists always rely on people having short memories, don't they?
Still, it's... Yeah, and you're not wrong, but, still...
Oh, it's still tasteless and disgusting, isn't it? Yeah.
It doesn't add up. It doesn't make sense.
And that's the thing. They've talked themselves into this mad cult where they, honestly, I think they did want Trump to get shot and killed. Anyway, so the media being the enemy of the people, of course, CNN, Secret Service rushes Trump off stage after he falls at rally. You can hear the gunshots in the video. Everyone can hear the gunshots in the video. Come on. You have been doing this. You're doing this on purpose. What they're trying to do is make it sound like no big deal, nothing happened. But this event was just too huge for them to downplay it because they were trying. They were constantly. I mean, it's everywhere.
CNN particularly are filth, aren't they?
Yeah, they're all filth.
All of these mainstream journalists are some of the worst human beings ever to have graced the earth, aren't they?
I mean, imagine being David Jackson and having this headline attached to your name. Trump removed from stage by Secret Service after loud noises startles former president. You mean he got shot through the ear by a would-be assassin?
The reason they're using things like that is, well, technically, gunshots are loud noises, so they can get away with it in the court of law, but they're trying to minimize the impact as much as possible. It's so slimy and disgusting.
100%. This is how they lie to you by telling you the truth, right? That is true. There were loud noises. They did startle the former president, but that's not the salient point from what has happened.
I honestly believe that most people aren't that stupid. There is a segment of society of adult humans that will fall for that sort of misdirection. But I think they're a very small minority. Most people are not stupid.
Well, this is why...
Not that stupid, where they're like, oh, what? Trump fell over because of loud noises. Oh, okay, next thing. Not many people...
Well, this is why half of America supports Trump and everyone who supports Trump hates the media.
Well, one of the many flaws of the mainstream media is they both have contempt for the average person and, are actually far more stupid than your average person simultaneously.
I mean, look at this. Trump injured in incident at rally. What, did he fall down the stairs like Joe Biden, did he? It could be anything. It's just...
Loud noises.
It just drives me mental.
Trump's ear gets in way of bullet.
Yeah. The instant gut reaction, we have to downplay everything, even if it's obviously one of the worst things that could have happened. I mean, God only knows. If Trump had been hit and killed, God only knows what follows from that. Like, I actually think they should thank their lucky bloody stars that he just took a clip to the ear, right?
Loud noise kills Trump.
God only knows. But anyway, so Elon Musk tweeted out the New York Times front page here. He failed the tests of leadership and betrayed America. Voters must reject him. Okay, well, hang on a second. Let's just... Betrayed America, right? That's treason then, right? So, again, this would have been justified. But failed the test of leadership? No, I don't think so. I actually think that he did exactly the right thing. It's actually shocking how one man could have such a good gut reaction to being shot like this. It's like, no, you put your fist up and you tell them to fight. That's superb. The scum media, man.
In the past couple of months, Trump has actually been on some of the best form ever.
Amazing.
Even in the debate with Biden, he sort of kept his tongue. He's been quiet.
Yeah.
He's been allowing Biden to make the mistakes, which is pretty savvy for Trump, who normally can't resist saying what he thinks.
In what possible way did he betray America? By not getting involved in loads of foreign wars?
By making sure that everyone could afford their groceries.
Yeah, making them energy independent.
By attempting to build a wall and secure their borders. Oh.
Yeah, by bringing peace to the Middle East. I don't know. I don't know what the betrayal is. Yeah. I don't care. I'm not going to...
I'm sure the weapons manufacturers are very betrayed.
And then you've got CNN afterwards complaining that Trump was like, no, we're going to fight. We're not going to just lay down and die. And they're like, well, we shouldn't be using inflammatory language. So the man just got shot. Shut up, because you've been egging everyone on. Forbes had an amazing, they've deleted loads of these, by the way. I had to go through the archives, right? Because it literally 24 hours later, everything they post in the moment, they're like, yeah, maybe you should have posted that. So this, for example, will surviving gunfire be Donald Trump's next appeal to black voters? Incredible statement. After will the mugshot make him more popular with black voters? It's like, wow, what are you saying about black voters to suggest that that's the thing they care
I remember
about?
Seeing a screenshot of this and thinking, there's no way
it was real.
Yeah. And then I'm a diversity, equity, and inclusion expert as well. It's just the icing on the cake.
Yeah,
I couldn't believe it.
Sean Harper, blacks are criminals. Yeah, thanks, Sean. That's a really, really productive way of looking at the world. Not sure that's actually universally applicable. But unironically, he says the release of his criminal mugshot deeply resonated with black voters because they know the first-hand unfairness of our nation's criminal justice system. Yeah, it's so unfair it can persecute a former president. Good point. Good point. Hopefully being shot doesn't become a similarly problematic strategy to link Trump with an experience that far too many, brackets not all, black people have. Oh my God, there's so much. All right, we're just going to move on. Sky News just came out, and again, they've deleted this. I had to archive it. The first thing Sky News comes out with, well, nothing justifies an assassination bid, but. But, right? Whenever you say but, you negate whatever came before it. Right? That's the purpose of but. You recognize that is a thing, but why it's not relevant is good. But did Trump play a part in changing the rules of engagement? No. Trump has not actually encouraged people to assassinate other people. He's not actually said, well, I mean, he probably has said some inflammatory things. But no, I think that you guys started it, and I think that you're the ones. And again, I had to go and get the archive for this. But basically, they say, well, look, I mean, Trump was downplaying the kidnap plot against Gretchen Whitmer that there were 12 FBI informants involved in. Like that was practically organized by the FBI, it seems, or the attack on Nancy Pelosi's husband. It's like, okay, what's he got to do with that?
Nothing to do with him.
Drugs or something, wasn't it?
There was some weird thing going on between the guy and
the hammer attack thing.
Yeah.
Did we
And
ever
her
find out
husband.
what that was about?
Not really. Like there was
They just stopped talking about that one.
Yeah, because obviously it was something to something to do with drugs or alcohol or something like that. But the point is, that's all they can argue in this. It's like, well, Trump downplayed the attack, the plot against Gretchen Whitmer. How's he responsible for that? It's like it's mad. But they say no one's claiming anything justified an assassination attempt. But the clear suggestion is that Donald Trump played his part in changing the rules of engagement and recklessly drove hostility in U.S. politics. Okay, what?
Well, it's a false equivalence, really, because this directly involves Trump because it's the media narrative about Trump. So it's fair enough, right?
Yeah.
Whereas when it's other cases that don't directly involve him, well, how can you link him? It's far more tenuous.
Completely. Anyway, so the next one was Joe Cox's husband. Joe Cox killed by a nationalist in 2016, I think it was, yelling Britain first over Brexit. And Joe Cox's husband has come out and said, Donald Trump has some culpability in creating an environment where violence is more likely. Right. We're not going to say that about Joe Cox, though, right? She's not culpable in her own murder, right? So it's not really appropriate to say Donald Trump is culpable in the attempt on his life. Because, I mean, this should have always been off the table. Just deeply inappropriate thing to say. Anyway, let's go on to the left-wing reactions. So various leftists. And again, these are massive, massive tweets that I think are representative of a well of feeling on the left. As you can see, this one, 12 million views, 54,000 likes. I'm not going to lie, this is a very weird reaction. Why would you open yourself up to more potential harm and after thinking you were almost assassinated and yelling, fight, fight, fight? Because Trump is a leader. That's why. Because Trump is in charge of his movement and represents the people around him and is an example to others. That's why. They just can't understand it. And because they can't understand it, this makes them get onto, well, conspiratorial thinking. For example, again, I had to go to the archive for Tim Wise, the professional anti-white activist, who said that fist pump after Trump was shot is too perfect. No way someone thinks to do that after an actual assassination attempt. It's what a MAGA scriptwriter would write, though. Right, so there's a setup, was it, Tim? There's a setup.
Is it all squibs and that was fake blood and stuff? What are you talking about?
Is it the guy who shot on the roof, not really dead?
That's just a mannequin, yeah.
Yeah, why would the Biden-appointed Secret Service director be cooperating with Trump to fake this?
I can see how if you were personally a coward, you might think it was script written. But if you're just a Chad, like Trump, seconds after being shot, you stand up tall and do a fist pump. I mean,
you're wounded, you've got blood on your face, you fight. It's like Tim Wise is just like, well, I don't recognize heroism when I see it. Thank you very much. And then you've got the, and again, there are lots of these. This just being, well, the archetypal example of leftists who are just disappointed that he wasn't dead.
I just found out about this shit. It just happened. I haven't even had a second to process. You're telling me somebody finally had the balls to bring a pew-pew, and he missed! We were a second away! We were a centimeter away from half of the problem being gone, and you missed!
Weird that she uses centimeter.
That's the thing you take away from this.
Well, yeah,
the clear neurosis.
It's a metric.
Yeah.
What a scumbag.
Yeah, but they all are. And again, there were just loads of these videos that Libs of TikTok are posting. It's just something they've been encouraging for years. I mean, it's literally something they've been encouraging for years. This is from 3 weeks ago now, beginning of the month. 54,000 likes. There's got to be at least one white guy willing to throw his life away to commit the act that will save this country from the impending fascist takeover. Whoa. Make the news, white boy.
Whoa.
White boy.
Whoa.
Well, interesting that they appeal to white boys when it comes to committing crime.
Yeah. Because
54,000 likes.
Yeah.
Wow.
Mad, isn't it? Like this has been in the milieu of the left-wing activists for a long time.
Come on, white boy, throw your life away and the Republic.
Yeah.
Come on, do it.
Yeah.
Do it.
Well, I mean, it's either that or a fascist takeover, you see. And where have they got that? Well, I would suggest Joe Biden calling him a dictator doesn't help. I would suggest that the New York Times and all that saying, no, he is basically Hitler doesn't help. Of course, they're driving their base into a wild froth over this. Everyone was talking to Destiny about this. To be honest with you, I don't care about Destiny's opinion on this. So I'm not interested in covering it, even though everyone was like, "Oh, you got to talk about Destiny." No one should talk about Destiny. Just ignore him. He's doing this for attention. He is attention farming. He is a small, spiteful, cuckolded mutant, and he is angry that nobody gives him enough attention. That's why he's doing this. Don't worry about him. Right. Cenk Uygur, though, had a great take. And this, and again, as for anyone who's not familiar, Cenk Uygur is a partisan, intransigent left-winger who hates MAGA and Trump and everything they stand for. He is open about this. He talks about this on his show, The Young Turks, every day. And he couldn't help but be like, well, credit to Trump and his fans today, and only today, Trump sticking the hand up and saying, fight, 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 while the crowd chanted USA, 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 was badass. Yes, it was badass, right? Because Cenk's a man, right? And any man can look at this. No, he is. Cenk's a man, right? And any man can look at this and go, okay, I may be a doctrinaire leftist, but that was cool, right? Trump turned this into a massive win, a win so big, even his enemies got like, okay, that was cool. Give you that.
More of a man-buffalo hybrid, but I take your point.
So I thought we'd go to the Patriot reaction now. So lots and lots of people resonated with this one. It's 141,000 likes, right? Lots of people resonated with this. A chap being like, well, look, no more feeling nervous to wear this in public. If he can take a bullet for me, I can show my sport, put your MAGA hat on, right? And I think this is going to be something you see in places like New York State, California, Portland, where there are lots of quiet Trump supporters who have, because it's a very heavy Democrat area, are like, well, I'm just not going to put my Joe Biden sign up because I might vote Trump. But I think that you're going to see a lot of Trump signs up now in the lawns, wearing the MAGA hats. No, people are just like, right, I'm done keeping this, this is too much now. And there were lots of people coming for Trump. I actually forgot to get 50 Cent up. 50 Cent did a concert and had like a Trump image behind him with, the bloody ear and stuff like that, praising him. It's like, okay, well, good.
Because I believe Mr. Cent has got a song all about there's loads of men out there trying to kill me all the time.
Yeah.
Which fits.
Yeah.
Just like Who Shot You. There's lots of rap songs, aren't there?
Yeah.
That would be
They've got
apt.
a whole different spectrum of scenarios of shootings covered, I think.
Yeah. And then you get like, again, things like this, where, again, these have just got, huge numbers on them. 25 million views, 165,000. Well, this lady, Stephanie, was like, well, look, I graduated in 2012 with a women's studies degree. So as a feminist, I cried in 2016 when Trump got elected. I lost touch with the Dems around Me Too, discovered entrepreneurship, and ended up becoming a single issue voting centrist. But in the last 6 to 12 months, I thought I was going to abstain from voting because both options are equally terrible. But watching Trump survive an assassination attempt and act like a total savage has shifted me into some strange patriotic gear that my fancy feminism white men bad infected brain never showed me. And so she's voting for Trump, obviously. And that is just like, again, Cenk Uygur is something going, well, do I want to vote for Biden or do I want to vote for the badass? Right? Like leadership is its own reward here and it shows. And so again, just saying, Trump seems to have come out of this like he can make anything into a win, apparently.
Which is not a young man as well. So taking a bullet, gets tackled to the ground to the point where his shoes come off because the Secret Service tackled him so hard. And he gets up.
Yeah, blood on his face and just like, defiant, which is superb. Elon Musk I fully endorsed President Trump and hope for his rapid recovery. There we go. I think for a lot of these people, and it's not just Elon, there are other billionaires. For example, David Sachs, who's an investor. There's Bill Ackman, who's a hedge fund manager. These are all, very famous, unbelievably wealthy billionaires. I think for a lot of them, this is something that they have wanted to do for a while. Because I don't think they're on board with the Democrat agenda. But of course, Trump in their circles has been politically toxic for a long time. But this was a good moment to be like, no, we're with him. End of story, which is superb. It's great to see, to be honest. And this is the betting average at the moment. You can see there Trump spiking at 63.3%. They've got money on the line, so I imagine that the betting average is something to consider.
Bookies are often very accurate on these things.
Well, it's their money on the line.
Much more accurate than
the polls.
Yeah. Than a lot of polls.
There aren't any polls out yet because obviously it's been like a day or 2 days. So I am looking forward to seeing what this does for Trump in the polls. I imagine he's handled it brilliantly. I imagine it's going to do him a world of good. And so I thought finally we'd just go to Trump himself, who posted something very, honestly, well restrained on Truth Social. Like, thanks Secret Service, law enforcement for the rapid response. More importantly, I extend my condolences to the family of the person at the rally who was killed, also to the family of another person that's badly injured. It's incredible that such an act can take place in our country. Nothing is known at this time about the shooter, who is now dead. I was shot with a bullet that pierced the upper part of my right ear. I immediately knew something was wrong, and then I heard a whizzing sound, shots, and immediately felt the bullet ripping through my skin. Much bleeding took place, so I realized then what was happening. God bless America. This is not even extreme. It's not even like bombastic, like his usual rhetoric. But that's actually a very, very sensible statement.
Sort of modest and gracious, even.
Well, it's actually kind of gracious.
Just a statement of fact, almost, really.
Yeah, but the first thing he does is not talking about himself. He thanks the Secret Service and gives condolences to the family. Like, that's not the kind of Trump that people knew in 2016, you know what I mean? And then he's obviously said, look, we need to come together, evil will not prevail, which is all good. And then finally, I thought we'd talk about the Democrat reaction. It's good. It's good reaction. Quote, "We are so beyond effed," said one longtime Democrat insider. "The presidential contest ended last night," said a veteran Democrat consultant. "Now is the time to focus on keeping the Senate and trying to pick up the House. The only positive thing that came out of the last night for the Democrats is that we are no longer talking about Joe Biden's age today." These are direct quotes from Democrat Insider.
They're not wrong, to be fair, are they?
No, they can see that Trump has probably won the election with his reaction to this, which is
because Trump's New York, right? He's in New York.
Oh yeah,
but New York is, of course, Democrat, heavily Democrat. Schumer is New York, right?
Yep.
And I would just love it if the New Yorkers voted Chuck Schumer out.
Yeah.
That would be so great. I don't see it happening, but it would be so good.
Yeah. And one senior House Democrat anonymously said, quote, "We've all resigned ourselves to a second Trump presidency." Good news. So yeah, that was the general tone of the reaction, which again, like, all the right people are crying and all the wrong people are crying. Well, no, all the people I want crying are crying, and all the people who I want cheering are cheering. So that's good.
I hope you appreciated that segment from the podcast The Lotus Eaters, and if you want to see more of what we're up to, you can watch us have a lot of fun on Lads Hour. The most recent one is on our rejected YouTube video ideas, where we have a lot of fun. And if you want to see all of the other work we're doing, you can follow us on Twitter, and we post links to everything. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.